Good evening, my fellow Michiganders. Good evening, my fellow Americans. Oh my, do I have some stuff to talk about tonight. So this will probably be, well, hopefully 20 to 25 minutes unless I ramble. But we have some stuff that we need to discuss. I'm starting to feel a little bit like Maury. For those of you who are my age, around 42 years of age, you remember the old show Maury, where he used to do all those lie detector tests on people and relationships. And I'm starting to feel like Maury, and every time she does a press conference, I'm just going to break it down and I'm just going to say the lie detector has determined that was a lie. And so that's what we're going to do tonight, especially with the continuation of this glorious clown show, as I call it. So we're going to get right into it right now. And I've been looking forward to this all day. So let's get after it. So on Wednesday's press conference, Governor Whitmore blamed the Michigan Supreme Court ruling on a recent increase in cases. Okay. So if that's true, it's because the Supreme Court took away her power and basically null and void every single executive order ever since April. And it is because of that why there's suddenly an increase in cases. So let's back up, because what we're fighting with right now is because she's weaponized the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services that continue with her tyrannical rule. We're fighting that right now. So nothing has changed. So again, for her to go on there and claim that, the lie detector has determined that's a lie, because the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services are now doing her dirty work. So again, she continues to go on there and flap her lips and continue to lie. So I will continue to get on here and call her out on her lies, because nothing has changed. Unfortunately, when we go out to shop or go out in public, the majority of Michiganders are doing what? Still face diapered up, still rolling with this fear mongering. And the people who are plugged in and really feeling and truly believing that what she says is truth, I can understand why you're scared to death. But I'm here to lower the fear. I'm here to give you up-to-date, accurate, factual, truthful information to continue to lower the fear. And folks, I know, I get it. You go outside, you see everybody face diapered up. You see people inside their vehicles face diapered up. You see people in restaurants pulling down their face diaper, taking a drink, and then putting up their face diaper. Clown show. And we're going to get all to that, because Michigan's top doctor just suggested that we all need to start doing that. My, oh my, am I going to shoot down that narrative tonight? Okay. And I'm just concerned, right, that why is it taking a chiropractor to call out this woman? Why isn't there other medical professionals kicking and screaming and just getting on social media, going to their bosses and saying, she's telling us to do what? Anybody in the healthcare profession, anybody in the healthcare arena knows that it's just contaminating yourself and everybody else every time you touch the goddamn mask. But I'm going to get to that research article that's been out there. It's all out there. And I just found one. There's many others. So all you have to do is a simple search and you're going to find that. But we'll get to that in a second. So she also acknowledged on Wednesday that the state crushed the curve. Yeah, you did. You crushed the curve in 2 weeks. So much, in fact, that hospitals closed, people got laid off, they weren't packed, we didn't need all the overflow. Yeah, we crushed the curve. So did everybody else. It wasn't because of your leadership, and I'm going to get to that here tonight, that crushed the curve, and you continue on with your tyrannical rule and lockdowns, which has proven not to work. And we're going to talk about Sweden again. Still keep your eye on Sweden. I've been saying this from the beginning, all right? And I said this from the beginning too, folks. It's not a matter of if you get this virus. It's when you're going to get it. And if the face diapers work, why is there sudden an increase in cases, right? It doesn't do anything, folks. Read the research. I'll probably get taken down on Facebook tonight for saying that. I don't care anymore. I'm just going to get on here and tell you the truth. So, and she went on to say also, but now Michigan has a dangerous moment. There's the fear mongering again. There she is. There she is. Pulls out the back pocket, the old fear mongering. Dangerous moment as virus cases spike. Michigan, we're in danger now. All right, time to talk about the data with that comment right there. April 3rd, we administered 5,453 tests. October 15th, we administered 50,083 tests. We all know that the majority of the young people who get this virus are what? Asymptomatic. So if you don't test them, they're not going to test positive. But if you test them, if they have it, even a little minuscule part of the virus, and I talked about that in a research study, that they're getting tested and it's overkill, but 10 times as many tests than April 3rd is what we're doing right now. So let's just break it down. April 1st through the 7th, 15,708 positives, 39,169 tests. So if you do the math, 40% of those tests were positive. So all the tests that were administered back in April, 40% tested positive for this virus. Fast forward to the present, now, October 12th to the 18th, 12,925 people have tested positive, 271,608 tests. Folks, back from April, we only did 39,000 tests. October 12th to the 18th, 271,608 tests. And only 12,925 people tested positive. If you look at the percent of that, that's 4.76%. That's it. Back in April, it was 40%. But we're in a dangerous moment, right? Unbelievable. Holy cow. It's getting to the point now that most of us on here, we know what's going on. We all know there's a political agenda. I'm going to get to that, what she said on Meet the Press. But we all know this is politically motivated. Man, she's going to jump on the caravan with Joe Biden and do on some bus tour here, I think, next week, right? She wants to get on the cabinet. And we're going to talk about the governor here in a second, how she put all of her chips in because the research, and I'm not going to let it go. I told you all, I'm not going to let this stuff go. I'm going to continue to go back all the way back from the beginning and just revisit all the lies that she said, right? All the non-truths, because I'm not going to let her get away with it. And I'm not going to let society just forget about it because I'm going to continue to hold it accountable. Because she's pushed it all in right now because her career is in jeopardy because the research is going to continue to come out. Wait till they get to the nursing home stuff. Her political career is in trouble, and her only play right now is praying to God that Joe Biden gets elected for her so she can go on the cabinet. I kid you not, you heard it here first. If Joe gets elected, she's going to be in some way or form on that cabinet, or I don't know what position, but she's out, folks, and she's playing that hard. Politically motivated, and she's willing to ruin all of our lives to further her career, which is horrible. Which is horrible. An elected official destroying lives for her own political agenda, for their own narrative. Hey, how about we just do the 2 golden rules? Always do what's right and always tell the truth. It's that easy, folks. It's that easy. So you're looking at the amount of tests from back in April to now. So 40% of the people that were tested, only 39,000 people were tested. Now 271,000 and only 4.76% were tested positive. We're in a dangerous moment. Yeah, right. Give me a break. Now, here's the icing on the cake. Michigan's top doctor, and as I stressed to quotes, because I don't know who gave this woman this title, Michigan's top doctor in restaurants, wear a mask until putting food in your mouth. I've seen people do this, and immediately, and if you're one of these people, I'm sorry, clown. You look like a clown, because anybody in any medical profession knows. Let's give you an easy example for everybody out there who's not in the medical field. When you go into surgery, what do these doctors do? They scrub up, right? They scrub up. Get their gloves, they get their mask on, they don't touch it. If they touch their mask, they contaminate it. They contaminate it. And it proves with this medical research, right here. I looked up one article just to give you tonight. There's many others, folks. They're hard to find because they're getting censored, but they're out there. This virus can adhere to the outer layer of a face diaper, right, for a week. According to a study by researchers from the University of Hong Kong. This is exactly why it is very important if you are wearing a face diaper, you don't touch the outside of the mask, said Malik Perez, a clinical and public biologist with the University of Hong Kong. Why? Because you can contaminate your hands, and if you touch your eyes, you could be transferring the virus to your eyes. Weird. No wonder why everybody and their mother, and unfortunately 90% of Michiganders out there are still face diapering up and they're touching it all day long. No wonder there's an uptick in virus. Because they're touching, they're contaminating everything. They're spreading it around even worse. And I think they probably know that. They probably just want the uptick in virus so we don't go and vote. That's just my humble opinion, but I'm probably gosh darn right. Okay? So again, clown show, medical people, stand up. Why is a chiropractor, for God's sakes, coming on here and calling this out? Call it out the way that you see it. You all know better. Do what's right. The USA Worldometer. Let's talk about some positive stuff. In the United States, 8.6 million total cases. 5.6 million have recovered. 2.7 million right now have the virus and it's active. Out of the 2.7 million people who have been tested or are active with the virus, only 15,678 are considered serious and critical. Folks, it's almost verbatim what I've been talking about for the past 4 months. I don't know what else to say and to prove. Nothing's changing. I would be singing a different tune right now if this virus is going through again and wiping out what they said it was going to in the beginning. 10% of Americans, I heard. That's 30 million people. So even if it was 10% of Michiganders, there's 10 million of us. That's a million Michiganders. I wouldn't be on here right now. I'd be in the basement like Sleepy Joe. But it's not. And the data doesn't lie. It gets better. The virus has to go through. It's not if, it's when. We can't sit around and wait for one of these. Number one, it's not even proven to be effective. No efficacy done. No safety measures. No long-term studies. And all of us are going, I don't know if I'm going to take, especially when the risk of you dying from this is small. We went over this. The CDC said it. I can't even say the gosh darn numbers anymore because I'll get clipped on Facebook. But it's over 99% survival rate for everybody all the way up to the age of 70. And over the age of 70 with 2 or 3 underlying medical conditions, it's over 94% survival rate. Clown show. My goodness gracious. Unbelievable. So why, right? I've said this, right? It's all politically motivated. We know this is politically motivated. We all know. I mean, that's the only reason why she continues to do what we're doing. And she's saying like her decision-making process was the saving grace of the state of Michigan. I don't think so. We're still the top 10 in deaths per 1 million, folks. That's true. Nothing has changed, right? So she went on to, I think, Meet the Press this past weekend. Of course, she just points the finger. Remember, when you point the finger at something, there is 3 pointing right back at you. So whenever you start to blame other people, you're the problem, all right? So she went on to say every moment that we are not focused on the fact that there are over 220,000 Americans who have died from this virus is good for him. So in that sense, as he incites additional violence against people who are just trying to save one another's lives, it's good for him. I'm going to stop right there because the person who was inciting violence a couple months ago, if I remember on the press conference, it said, Michiganders, we should implore one another to wear the face diaper. And if they don't do it, we should forcefully do it. Who was inciting what violence at that time? Look it up. True. And that's why I don't want to talk about him endangering public servants' lives. I want to talk about what he hasn't done, and that's his job. The Trump virus response is the worst in the globe. I mean, in the world. It's the worst. 8 million people have been contracted COVID, 220,000 dead. We got people in food pantry line who never would have imagined if they'd be there and no light on the horizon because our numbers keep going up. Yeah, I could ramble on this scenario for many, many months. Okay. Look, the states run the states. The federal government is there for help. He tried to close the borders way back in the beginning, and all the Democratic people freaked out, right? The Democrats. What's he doing closing the borders? That's racist, right? And now they're going, he didn't do it soon enough. Double standard again. So if you look at the top 10 deaths per 1 million, the majority of the states with the highest rate, obviously, I think the top 4, top 5 is all democratically ran. President Trump did not come in and tell the states how to run the show here. States were up to themselves to do what was right for that state. And guess what? The states who are doing the best are the ones that didn't lock down the fullest. The ones that lock down the fullest are the ones doing the worst. And guess what? They're ruining people's lives. They're ruining people's businesses. Now we're in a mental health crisis. Now we have the elderly that they would rather die than live in anymore because they don't want to be alone anymore. That is what all of these decision makings have brought us to this part of the equation. And I've been calling out this narrative ever since the end of April. Ever since the end of April. The solution to this can't be bigger than the catastrophic consequences of the excessive lockdowns. And then she goes on there and says, this is a gravely serious moment for all of us. And if you're tired of wearing face diapers, or you wish you were in church this morning, or watching college football, or wish your kids were in school in person, it is time for a change in this country, and that's why we have to elect Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe in his basement, and I really don't care who you vote for. Just go out there and vote, because we have been said that it's your decision. But he has already said, like, what's his plan? He's going to mandate the face diapers, which I've already proved over and over and over and over again that doesn't work, okay? And I'm going to go right off before I get back to that, to Sweden, my favorite country in the world right now. Sweden's top epidemiologist tells elderly to end isolation to boost mental health. Well, that's common sense. Even though there's still an uptick in virus over there because it's still going through their society. And guess what? They have not locked down. They have not mandated face diapers, right? They let the businesses and the people fend for themselves, and they're doing good. They're doing good. Just like typical virus, it's going to go through. It's going to hurt the immunocompromised and elderly. They should quarantine. But he's even saying now that the elderly come out. Sweden's advice, avoid large gatherings and frequent hand washing. That's their top epidemiologist, which I'm going to listen to because it's common sense, right? For any virus, if you're sick, stay home. Right? Don't go spit in people's mouths. But he says no face diapers, and he won't budge on it because he says the studies so far, and I like this guy because he's basing his decision-making on up-to-date, accurate, and truthful information, not a political narrative. He's basing it off the science, and he's caught hell from it ever since the beginning, saying, oh, Sweden's doomed, Sweden's done, Sweden's dominating. They are, and they're going to continue to dominate. And he says the studies so far have not shown a dramatic effect. Countries such as France and others have face diaper mandates and have still experienced a big spread of the disease. Clown show. At least there's somebody out there with some sense. Governor Whitmer, take some notes. Top doctor in Michigan, please take notes. Read the research, for goodness sakes. All right, so let's talk about another one of my favorite governors. Where is she at? Oh, Governor Kristi Noem. We all love her in the state of Michigan. My goodness gracious, we all wish that she was our governor. Unfortunately, she is not. So, what did they say about Governor Kristi Noem's leadership back in the beginning? 6 months ago, she's going to kill everyone. 3 months ago, she's going to kill everyone. 1 month ago, she's going to kill everyone. Today, they still say, she's doing it wrong. She's going to kill everyone. And here's her advice to her constituents. Sounds like a pretty phenomenal leader to me, folks. If folks want to wear a face diaper, of course, it's not that. I can't say it because I'll get taken off Facebook. If folks want to wear a face diaper, they are free to do so. Those who don't want to wear a face diaper shouldn't be shamed into it. And government should not mandate it. We need to respect each other's decisions. In South Dakota, we know a little common courtesy can go a long way. Huh. Wow. What a phenomenal human being. Man, for some reason, Governor Kristi Noem, if you're watching, I'm a fan. I am a fan. Congratulations on being a great leader, doing what's right for your people. God bless you. And I hope you continue to dominate every aspect of your journey, which I'm sure you are, because it just seems like you're just a wonderful person. So yeah, I'm a fan. So meanwhile, in South Dakota, much lower death rates per capita than states with face diaper mandates. Businesses are open, schools in person, unemployment rate 4.1%. This is what happens, folks, when you follow the science and the data, especially when you have countries that are doing it right, that are doing it differently. It's okay to be wrong in the clown show. It's okay. That's what I said right from the beginning. All the elected officials, nobody knew what this thing was going to do. However, A good leader can adapt and improvise and overcome and keep up to date on the data and make their decisions off the data. Not on political agenda, not on a fear narrative, not releasing their Gestapo called the health department to continue with the tyrannical rule. Big difference, folks. Big difference. So I know I rambled tonight, but I just had to continue to shoot it down because I feel like Maury, the lie detector test, has determined that was a lie. Everything she said, don't touch your face diaper. Don't cross-contaminate it. Folks, if you're scared to death, feel free to wear it, but don't cross-contaminate it. For all means, do not keep touching it in between bites. My goodness gracious. And people who are doing that, they're following this, look. When this is all said and done, folks, and obviously everybody is watching this for the movement. No, nobody's going to watch it if they don't agree with us. They just disregard everything in the science, and that's fine. But you have to remember these people. They are going to go down kicking and screaming because of their egos. People want to realize, and they want to know that all the sacrifices, all the hurt, everything that they put their children through was for a bigger cause. They don't want to hear that they made the wrong decision, that they put these things on their kids, on their kindergartners all day long. They don't want to hear that. They want to know and believe. And they're willing not even to look at the science and the data because they want to be proven right so bad that they don't want to be told the truth. It's not your job to go out there and belittle these people because the data is all there. The truth is going to continue to come out. Your job is there just to be there for them and to support them and to love on them. Because that's what needs to happen. Because there's a lot of people out there that they can't turn away from this. It's all right there. And it will get through. This will be talked about for the next several years, and more research is going to come out on what worked, what didn't work, because that's how these things run, okay? And people are going to learn from it. Don't worry. We've all been right ever since the beginning. Even though when there wasn't that much data and science, we still were right, and we still held to our guns, and we continue to stand up. And look where we're at. Yeah, we're still fighting, and we're getting obstacles, little molehills, right? But we're going to win the ultimate battle. We're going to win the war in this. I guarantee it, because our cause is just. So I got to give a couple shout outs before I end with you tonight. To the Libertas Christian School is suing to stop the closure by Michigan Governor Whitmer's administration. They're trying to shut the school down because they're not mandating everything that the health department is saying. Dr. Semlo from Semlo Peak Performance Chiropractic. This is all Ottawa County Health Department, by the way. And we've had personal experience with Ottawa County Health Department. When we did our Freedom Festival in Grand Haven, they threatened to come shut down our Freedom Festival. That's when Ron went off and said we were going to call it a protest. Beautiful moment by Ron, by the way. Ron, if you're watching, that was awesome. But make sure you're giving some love to these people into that Christian school because they are standing up and they're taking the hard road and they're fighting. And if they go through and they win, that's going to set precedent for all of you. So make sure that you're going out there and you're supporting him. I know Dr. Semlo has a GoFundMe page out there for his attorney fees that he's trying to raise, and I think he's getting pretty close to reaching his goal because of all your guys' support, which is awesome. But these people are putting themselves out there to fight, and I respect that because it's hard and it's scary, and the amount of hate you get is astronomical. And a lot of times people don't realize how hateful and horrible people can be, and they can be pretty gosh darn horrible. All right. So make sure you're constantly supporting these people and giving them some love. Now I'm going to end on this, and this is not mine. This is a post that I saw from an ER nurse that somebody shared. And this person, if you're watching out there, I don't have your name, but if you're watching and you wrote this, God bless you. She hit it spot on. So I'm just going to close with this and read this to all of you tonight, and then I'm going to go enjoy my family. The ER nurse posted this, brilliantly sums this up. Please just take politics out of it and read this with an open mind using common sense. That's what we all want. Let's keep the politics out of this and use common sense. Unfortunately, our elected official, our governor, is not doing that. She has a political agenda. Anyone out there who can tell me what our end game is with this virus? What is our end game? Is it 0 cases? The only way that will happen is if we just stop testing and stop reporting. Is it the injection? It took 25 years for the chickenpox injection to be developed. The smallpox inoculation was discovered in 1796. The last known natural case was in 1977.
We have a flu injection that is only 40 to 60% effective, and less than half of the U.S. population chooses to get one. And roughly 20,000 Americans will die of the flu or flu complications. Oh, you're going to mandate it, like other injections are mandated in order to attend school, travel to some foreign countries, etc. We already have a growing number of anti-vaxxers refusing proven, tested, well-known injections that have been administered for decades but aren't necessarily safe. Do you really think people will flock to get a fast-tracked, quickly tested injection whose long-term side effects and overall efficacy are anyone's best guess? How long are we going to cancel and postpone and reconsider? You aren't doing in-person school until second quarter. What if October's numbers are the same as August's? You move football to spring. What if next March is worse than this one? When do we decide quality of life outweighs the risk? I want to repeat that. When do we decide quality of life outweighs the risk? I understand this virus can be deadly or very dangerous for some people. We know who. Over the age of 70, mostly over the age of 80, with 2 or 3 underlying medical conditions. And even then, of infected, there's a 94.6% chance of survival. Every other age group, over a 99% chance of survival. I understand this virus can be deadly for some people, but so are strawberries and shellfish. So is getting into your car. We take risk multiple times a day without a second thought. We know driving a car can be dangerous. We don't leave it in the garage. Many speed and don't even wear seatbelts or helmets. We know the dangers of smoking, drinking, and eating fried foods. We do it anyway. Is hugging grandma really more dangerous than rush hour on the freeway? Is going out with friends after work more risky than 4-day-old gas station sushi? Or operating a chainsaw? When and how did we so quickly lose our free will and give up our liberty? Is there a waiver somewhere I can sign that says, I understand the risk, but I choose a life with hugs and smiles and the state fair and go to church and go hug my mom in a retirement home? I understand that there's a minuscule possibility I could die, but I will most likely end up feeling like crap for a few days. That's what the dad proves, folks. I understand I could possibly pass it to someone else if I'm not careful, but I can pass any virus on to someone else. I'm struggling to see how this ends. We either get busy living or we get busy dying. When God decides it's your time, there's no mulligans. So I guess I would rather spend my time enjoying it and living in the moment and not worrying about life and about the what ifs and maybes. And I bet I'm not the only one. Well said. Well said. Get busy living or get busy dying. This virus will go through society. There's not going to be a magical injection that comes that's going to just wipe it all away. You know what's going to wipe it all away? Letting it get through, strengthening your bodies, turning your body into an environment of greatness, lowering the fear, lowering the stress, getting back to normal. This is not normal. Staying at home is not normal. Not hugging your family and friends is not normal. Getting back to life, getting back to what we all know and believe in is the love of this country, love for humanity, and love for our God. God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan, and God bless these United States. Go enjoy your family. Good night.